Hello, hockey fans. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast. It's Mailbag Monday. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen. Mario Tirabassi is missing. If you see him, please alert the police. No, he's fine.
He's probably in a box.
He is. It's moving day for the Tirabassis, so we are glad we're here and not there.
Like Saturday at Valhalla, moving day.
Yeah, we are beyond the age of, hey, man, come help me move and I'll pay you in beer and pizza. No.
Nope.
Even if it's Salerno's or Coors Light. No.
Nope.
Not a chance.
Nope.
Do it yourself.
I moved a little over a year ago, and we paid $2,000 to have people come and do it, and it was worth every penny.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, good luck to Mario. Good luck to your back. All those good things. He's still under 40, so he'll be okay.
It's one of the few things in my life where I like to say, no, I'm an adult.
Yes.
I will pay someone to do that for me.
Exactly.
Otherwise, not an adult.
I am entrenched in that phase of my life. Hey, this needs to get fixed. Pay someone to do it. I'm not doing it.
Yes.
Because I will make it worse.
I
will make it worse, and we'll be paying the guy to show up anyway. So let's just do it now.
We're having our dryer vents cleaned on Friday. And Hope's like, I have it too. I'm like, no, I don't know how to do it. I will mess it up, and then it'll end up being more expensive because I have to go buy stuff I broke. No, we're not doing that.
Yep.
Anyway, that's not why you're here. It's Mailbag Monday. Do us a favor. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Same deal if you're listening on your podcast app. Make sure you're following or subscribed, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And as it is every Monday, our mailbag is bursting, so let's get right to it. Are we ready to get to it?
Yeah, momentarily. Let me just move these
I see
things.
some dragging and some
there's
some things happening.
I don't know why it's
So
up. There we go. Now they're in there. Okay.
We'll stall.
We're going to start in our Discord, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is from Sports Genius 38. Is it just this season, or is having home ice in the playoffs just not what it used to be anymore?
You tell us, Sports Genius.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think in the playoffs, this is probably a better question for somebody like Chris Kamka, like some statistical genius. But I just feel like with a 7-game playoff, the better teams win, home ice or not. And the way the NHL playoffs are now, the format kind of lends to, maybe lesser teams having home ice over better teams. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem it seems like the road teams are winning a lot more this year.
Yeah.
Than last year. I mean, we had that Dallas-Vegas series where the first 4 games were won by, and Dallas won. Has Dallas lost on the road yet this year? They won all 3 in Vegas. They won all 3 in Denver, right? Yeah. They're 6-0 on the road.
That's wild.
That's pretty good. But bottom line is, no matter how good you are on the road, you want to have Game 7 in your own building.
Yes.
So we got a Game 7 tonight. Canucks are at home. I don't like their chances. Yeah. Lots of things going on there that are bad, but they're on home ice. And when you're at home, you feel a little more comfortable.
Well, I'll say this. Just as we discussed Paul Maurice not being worried, Rick Tocchet began today by saying, Thatcher Demko is starting. And they all said, really? He goes, no, I'm just kidding. So Tocchet doesn't seem too worried. Right. If you missed the news, Brock Besser, they found a blood clot after Game 6. So he's going to be shut down. He's not playing tonight, obviously. And if the Canucks advance, he's probably done for the year, which is gut-wrenching, awful news. I feel awful for him. But, yeah, so the Canucks are going to be without Brock Besser tonight. So it's going to be a tough Game 7 against a really good team. And the Oilers, looks like last game we're kind of like, all right, enough of this nonsense. Let's go.
I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I'm going to. I said Stuart Skinner was going to come back and play good, and he did. I mean, the team in front of him made life very easy for him.
Yeah.
The Canucks did not have a lot of shots, definitely did not have a lot of scoring chances. And then Connor McDavid said, The Canucks are shutting me down. Watch this. So if you have Skinner playing with some
Should have kept your mouth
confidence,
shut, like Patrick Kane said.
If you have Stuart Skinner playing with some confidence and Connor McDavid in full FU mode, I
Yeah.
don't think the Canucks have a chance.
Yeah,
But
that's rough.
You never know. It's
Yeah.
one game. Hockey is weird and stupid. I would predict an Oilers win, but wouldn't be shocked if the Canucks win.
It wouldn't shock me either. The Canucks have been kind of this scrappy. Now, they had a great regular season, don't get me wrong, but everyone kind of thought, like, it's a little too early for them. Right now, all the pressure's on the Oilers to win. Yeah. They have to win this. So, I don't know. Maybe the Canucks take advantage of that. Maybe the Oilers come out a little bit coasty because with Besser out, thinking it's just a done deal. We'll see. That's why they play 7. Kind of feel myself rooting for Vancouver, which is icky, but I'm a big underdog guy.
I want the Oilers to win for 2 reasons.
You mean the old cartoon? Me too.
Yeah.
I'm a big Oiler guy, I'm rooting for the Oilers tonight because I picked them to win the Stanley Cup before the season in our bracket challenge.
Yep.
And I think Oilers Stars will be a lot better series than Canucks Stars.
I agree with that.
And I would rather watch those two teams play 7 games than the Canucks and Stars.
You convinced me.
Can play. I mean, I could see Oilers getting the Stars all the way to 7.
Yeah.
I don't see the Canucks getting them past 5.
Yeah, I agree to that.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that.
I want a better series. I want hockey to go as long as possible.
Dallas is a wagon, as the kids say.
Yes.
Other little bit of news, Hawks re-signed Brett Seney today to a 2-way deal, 1 year, 2-way deal. It's like $775K. So there's a guy they can call up in a pinch. So good for him.
Yeah, he was the Ice Hogs team MVP this year. He's been fantastic in Rockford for the last 2 years. That's where he's going to be next year. And but we've seen him both times this year and last year. They've brought him up to, in a pinch. You can get him on a 4th line. You can put him out there for 8-9 minutes and not be that bad. But he's got back. He's back to be, that veteran leader and offensive leader for the Ice Hogs.
Yeah, they need that too. And looks like maybe Matvei Michkov might be coming next season for this upcoming year.
There's
a lot of whispers.
There was some talk about this about 3 weeks ago. There started to be some chatter in the wind, and now that chatter is getting louder.
Chatter in the Wind is a terrible, terrible album.
Yes, I believe that was Kansas's follow-up to Dust in the Wind. It wasn't nearly as good.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Christopher Cross album, Chatter in the Wind by Christopher Cross.
Some more yacht rock.
Anyway, those reports are getting louder, and the fact that both the Flyers and the KHL are both kind of like, we don't have anything to tell you yet, but stand by. It tells me he's going to be playing for the Flyers.
Which is, if you're on the fence about Demidov for that reason, it's an indicator that maybe, just maybe, it won't be as difficult to get him over here as you thought.
It won't be because his contract expires at the end of next year. There's no Michkov still has 2 years left on his deal. They have to get him out of a contract.
Yeah.
Demidov plays in the KHL next year, and that's it. He's got no reason to stay.
I just mean in terms of like it being made difficult by the Russian government or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you could probably scratch that concern off, hopefully. So we'll see.
And I'm going to jump ahead in the mailbag. I know we do our Discord once first, but Easy Ev just kind of brought up the same thing. I know you guys already agreed that the quote-unquote Russian factor is less of a worry than some people think. Does the recent Michkov news change anything in regard to drafting Demidov?
I don't think it changes anything.
No. I think it changes the mindset of some people.
Yes, it will probably
Some people.
It will probably ease the minds of people who are worried a little more. But as far as the Blackhawks go, I don't think Kyle Davidson and the Blackhawks have made up their mind yet. It would be really irresponsible because they haven't even had that Russian showcase that's coming up in Florida in a couple of weeks. You can't make your decision till you see him in person, get to sit down and talk to him. So they haven't even made their decision yet. They may be leaning one way or the other, but they haven't figured it out. And they probably won't know for sure who they're taking until the morning of the draft.
Well, and my thing all along with this has been, however you feel about Kyle Davidson and his hockey operations staff, I think we've seen that they do their due diligence on things, whether or not in your mind they make the right decisions draft-wise or trade-wise or whatever. They clearly put the work in. They've got the scouts. They've got people checking in, finding out. So if they draft Demidov, they're not just shrugging and saying, we hope he comes. They've got some sort of assurance that he'll be here sooner or later. So, yeah, I don't think it changes anything actually, but I do think the people that were maybe on the fence saying, if I'm deciding between the two, I feel a little more security taking Levshunov because he's already here. I think you probably scratch that factor out now. So, yeah.
Real quick question from the chat. James Coogan is asking, can you elaborate on the Russian showcase that's coming up?
There is going to be a handful of Russian players, I believe. I'm trying to find out the exact information because
I'm looking for the dates.
But there's going to be a few of the Russian prospects coming over and doing because they're not going to be at the actual NHL combine, so they're going to do like their own little thing. And Demidov is going to be part of that. So since he's not coming to the official combine, a lot of the scouts are going to come out of that. So you'll get a chance to see him work out and interview him. But I'm not finding.
Yeah, I'm looking for dates. I haven't seen anything though.
I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be before.
Here, June 18th to 23rd, according to ProHockeyRumors.com. Brennan McLean. So there you go. Soon.
All right, let's continue on this theme. This is from Rooney, again, in the Discord.
Rooney!
Thank you to the diehards.
He always puts the GIF in there.
He does. I appreciate that.
Stick to the bit.
Regarding Demidov, what are the advantages of scouting a prospect live versus watching on TV/recordings? Aside from getting to meet them in person, what would you learn about their game that would make someone a better pick?
Well, you get to watch them off the puck. I mean, you get to see what they do when they're not carrying the puck, when the puck's on the other side of the ice, how they communicate with teammates, how they, I don't know, there's so much. Just think about being at a game versus watching one on TV, especially if you're sitting in the 300 level at the United Center. You can really see how plays are unfolding, how hard guys back check, how hard guys can forecheck, and sometimes the TV broadcast doesn't pick that stuff up.
Yeah, obviously in person is far better because you could see, you can focus strictly on a player. You can watch him, his body language. I always said when, I spent a couple years scouting for the NAHL. I liked watching a player in a 7-1 blowout as opposed to a tie game in the third period because everybody can get up and play hard when it's a tie game close late in the game. When you're either up 7 goals or down 7 goals, that's when I want to see that same effort, that same thing. And a lot of the times when you're watching, when you get scout tape, it's kind of just basically like a center ice camera. You can't really focus a lot. And there's stuff lost in, you don't get the feel for like actual game speed. And the Hawks and every NHL team have Russian scouts. So they have had actual eyeballs on him. It's not like they're just watching the closed circuit feed. So they've seen him live. They've got scouting reports. So, but getting a chance to actually, I think, get him in a room and talk to him, that's huge. Especially when you think of Kyle Davidson and how much of an emphasis he puts on drafting good character guys. Yeah. So he wants to talk to him before making that decision. So that, I think, is the most important part out of that showcase.
All right.
And we've got a lot of draft talk between now and June. And this May, our number one draft pick for all things Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Ramses has got to be Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and
Ramses.
And Fox like, well, it's Dodges, Jeepses, and Ramses. And right now, it's the season. That's what they still haven't changed it. It's something season, probably saving season. We're going to roll with that, which means...
it says on the graphic, it's the season.
It is the season.
Okay, it is the season.
By definition.
Maybe I'm...
it's cicada season.
It is definitely cicada season in Wilmette. And right now, it's the season, which means not only is May the time to find your next vehicle, but you could score huge savings, too. For a limited time, lease a new 2024 Dodge 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab for only $419 a month, or shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. I could finally get that Bighorn I always wanted. Let the amazing team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram help you land the perfect vehicle at the perfect price, because with Ray's Price Promise, the numbers you're hearing now are the same prices that you can expect to shop in-store and online. That's because Ray's Price Promise means no price changing, no add-ons, no hitting fees, none of that nonsense. Since they prioritize affordability for their customers, hurry into Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram today and shop one of Chicago's largest inventories, then drive home with more money in your pocket than you expect. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle and you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, because they're the only team we recommend, visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, head on over to raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963.
All right. And we got Game 7 tonight. Canucks and Oilers happening. So why not jump on the Prize Picks and play along at home? Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They're the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. Prize Picks, we love it. It's the most fun we've had playing, and you can win up to 100 times your money this basketball and hockey season. They've got quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types. That's what makes Prize Picks number one in daily fantasy sports. We play pretty much every Hawks game to keep it interesting. We make sure we get a couple things in just to keep it, keep the action going. And it's a great way to enhance your playoff viewing experience. You pick more than or less than. So I haven't looked at that. I got to get my picks in after the show. But Connor McDavid, 3.5 shots, more than, less than. Stuart Skinner, 25 saves, more than, less than. And that's how you play. And if you hit them all, and the more plays you make, the more you take home. It's great. We love it. Download the app today. Use that code CHGO for a first match deposit up to $100. That's code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. And it really is. You know what else is easy? Smashing that like button. So let's do it. Let's do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 like spike. Elbow drop that. Give it an old Hulk Hogan leg drop. Give it the old Ric Flair where you walk for a few steps and fall over and hit your face. Do that to the like button. Whatever you want to do it. Just make sure you hit it. And while you're right there, you might as well hover over that subscribe button and hit that too. And then slide over to that share button, copy that link, and then text it to some friends who love the Hawks and love hockey and want to see what we have to say about your mail. All right, let's go. Let's keep going.
Yeah, let's get back to the mailbag.
Yes.
And this is a couple more from Discord, which are specifically about players. Let's start with Genesis, who asks, not advocating for this, but LA has said they aren't buying out Dubois. If they offered him up with 3.5 retained, would you take him at 5?
Next question.
Nope.
They could offer him up at 8.5 retained, and I'd say no, thank you. That is not. This guy he's a good player when he wants to be. You're trying to build a winning culture with good locker room. This guy, by all things, by every report out there, this guy is a major pudwhack. You don't want him anywhere near. You don't want him anywhere near.
That's my favorite one so far. He is signed through 2030, 31.
No, I don't care how much they retain.
Yeah. That's a risky, hey, let's take a flyer. No.
It ain't worth it.
He's not going anywhere.
No.
They're going to have to buy him out eventually.
Unless he all of a sudden wakes up next year
and
says,
sure.
Hey.
It's the 6th team and the...
Right.
No.
Yeah.
And at some point, you are what you are, no matter how appealing your physical
he is
stature
a talented
may
player,
be.
and teams can't wait to get rid of him. Multiple teams could not wait to get rid of him. So what does that tell you?
And for the record, Genesis, like you said, not advocating, but just asking.
No, he just wanted to get our blood pressure up on this Monday, and it worked.
And literally everyone in the chat is like, no! All right, we got one more from Discord this week, and that is from our guy, Windy City Hockey. What kind of trade could happen to get Martin Necas rights from the Carolina Hurricanes? Am I saying that right, or am I thinking of
Necas?
See, I'm thinking of Neffa wafers. Of
course. I get Martin Necas and Necco waivers confused. Sometimes I throw Martin Necas right in the toll booth thing to get through without having to pay. Here's the thing. He's
no idea what that joke is.
I know. Some do. Unrestricted free agent, correct?
No, restricted.
Oh, yeah, that changes
an
things
RFA.
a little bit.
you're going to have to, the only way you're getting them is via trade.
Yeah.
And it will be costly.
But if they, correct me if I'm wrong, did I see that they're just saying they can't re-sign him?
No.
Okay.
It's more the noise. There's been nothing official from either side that a trade is going to happen, but there's a lot of noise from the player side that he is frustrated with his usage, thinks he should have a bigger role on that team, and wants to go play somewhere else where he can have a bigger role. He can have a really big role here in Chicago.
Like first line right wing next to Connor Bedard.
He's a center by trade, so put him down the middle. 6'2", 190-pound center that just turned 25 in January. 28 goals 2 seasons ago, 24 goals this season. He's frustrated that he's not on the top power play line. He's not. So that's where this is coming from. The Carolina Hurricanes have never said we're going to trade him.
Come to Butthead.
So I think it's more of negotiating in the press type of thing. We'll see what happens. I would be surprised if he gets on the trading market, but if he is, this is the trade. Kyle Davidson needs to go after more than a Mitch Marner trade. This is a guy that's, fits the timeline, still young, hasn't hit his prime. He's an RFA, so you can get him and sign him to a 6-year, $7 million contract now, which will be cheaper than any of the big free agents you try and sign long term, either this year or next year. If he does hit the trade market, it will be an expensive haul because there are going to be a lot of teams looking to get him. It's not going to be like the Blackhawks are going to be the only team calling.
Oh, absolutely.
There will be a lot of teams calling, so you're going to have to give up, I would say, probably one of your – I would say this.
Would you give up 20?
Here's what I would do. This would be where I start and I see what happens. Next year's Toronto pick, one of this year's second-round picks, and Wyatt Kaiser.
Done.
That's where I start because they have 3 defensemen all hitting free agency this summer in Shea, Pesce, and Chatfield.
Kaiser's NHL ready and might be boxed out here.
And they're not going to be able to sign all 3 of those guys. So they're going to need some defensemen. And Brent Burns is 39. That combination of a first, a second, and Kaiser might get it done. I would make that trade. But I hate trying to guess what trade... predict what a trade might be because I never read the market correctly. I always say, a third rounder will get it done, and then the trade's made and it's 2 first-rounders. Or I'd say
it's the opposite.
Or it's going to cost, it's going to ruin your franchise to get Alex DeBrincat, and then you see it and you're like, that didn't really happen.
The DeBrincat trade is it's a pretty good comp.
But I would do next year's Toronto pick, this year's highest second-round pick, and Wyatt Kaiser to get Marty Necas here for the next 6 to 7 years.
If it takes 20 instead of Toronto's first next year, I would do it. But I would change the next year pick then. I wouldn't give them first and second this year.
No, it would be
I would
first
say
next
then
year.
I would say 20 and then your scenario is first next year, second this year. I would be willing to give them 20 and a second next year. We'll see. These are the kind of things that you have to assume, knowing what Kyle Davidson is looking for. He's sniffing around. I think that I don't think anything like this is off the table. I really don't. Like, maybe they don't have the piece. Here's the thing. If they're going to give Necas a say in it, who knows if they do? Maybe they do, like the Bears did with Justin Fields, right? Like, hey, we're going to put you in a situation where you want to go. The Hawks have a wide open, all respect to Philip Kurashev, a wide open RW1.
Absolutely.
Right there.
No, Philip Kurashev is a really nice player, but he should not be your top line right winger when this team is ready to compete.
And if you have a healthy Taylor Hall, which, knock on wood, Connor Bedard and Martin Necas is your first line, pretty good. I don't know if that's Stanley Cup first line, but it's very, very good. And he's going to get exactly what he wants out of it.
And some people are saying that trade is too expensive. Guys, if there's 20 teams bidding for him, you're going to have to give up something you necessarily don't want to. You're not going to be able to go, hey, Lucas Reichel and Connor Murphy, make it happen.
They don't want it. It's not interest.
You've got to have to give. You got to give up something to get something. And Necas fits exactly what Kyle Davidson's trying to build. I would take Necas over any Mitch Marner trade, regardless of who's involved.
Discussion for another day, but I will say, by the way, the reason we say Kaiser, not because we don't like him, but when you look at what the Hawks have, what they have coming, what they need in the lineup, Kaiser is expendable because they've got Korchinski offensively. Who knows if they draft Levshunov, that makes him expendable too. And
good movie.
They've got big dudes that they want in the lineup, Del Mastro, Allen, etc., coming up. So he's also proven that he can play effectively at the NHL level. And I think putting him on a team like Carolina, who is so defensively sound with the newly re-signed Rod Brindamore, by the way, it could really do a lot for Wyatt Kaiser's game, too, to go play with some of those stud defensemen they have and veteran coaches and everything. It could be a good move for him as well. So we'll see.
Well, I'll learn how to say his last name if he actually comes here. Until then, he is a neck away from
He'd have to change his number, though. He wore 88 and...
speaking
Carolina.
of 88, shout out
available.
to Cricket, who threw us $1 on behalf of Big P. Will, who made a comment.
Yeah,
about
we got some new people in the chat.
We appreciate new faces.
Right.
It's just
Please
like
hit the
we say
like.
all the time, for your own sake, abandon the dream. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Patrick Kane's not coming back.
You're right. Patrick Kane would probably be a really good fit, but it's not happening.
It's not happening.
All right.
For a myriad of
moving
reasons.
Back into the mailbag. This is from Dark Lord Bedard, quote unquote 98. Do you think that the fan base needs to dial back their expectations for the timeline of the rebuild? I feel like Davidson has a plan and that there is a lot of pressure for that plan to be rushed or expedited. I don't want us to become Buffalo or New Jersey or squander our potential. Dynasty!
I don't know if the overall fan base is like... I think for the most part, the expectation is right where it should be. I mean,
Yeah,
I know...
Overall, I think.
I know when Kyle Davidson said that next year has to be better, some people were like, oh, that means he's going to go out and get all the top free. That's not what he said. I mean, it's what he said, but that's not what he meant. He's not going to go out and get Sam Reinhart and Steven Stamkos and trade for Mitch Marner and give up all these kids. I think the expectation for next year is they will be improved. Maybe they flirt with a wild card spot for 3/4 of the season.
Yeah. Think of this year's Coyotes.
Yeah. And then it's to me, it is fairly obvious when he envisions this team to be a playoff team again. And that's the 26-27 season.
Yeah.
Maybe the season before you really start to make that push, depending on what you do in free agency next summer. But you signed Peter Mrazek, Jason Dickinson, Nick Foligno for 2 years.
Yeah.
There's a reason they all signed that same deal. That's the timeline. The next 2 seasons are committing to getting these kids developed, committing to finding out who's a part of it and who's not, and then filling in the hole. So 26-27 is that season where you're ready to be like, this is it. We're going for it. We don't want to be the, you don't want to be the Red Wings where you're like, hey, we got like 3 or 4 really good young players. Now let's go out 2 years in a row and bring in all these veterans and still miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
It doesn't do you any good.
No, it does not. For the record, by the way, the Coyotes finished this season with 77 points in 82 games. That would be a 25-point improvement for the Hawks.
Blackhawks get 77 points next year. Luke Richardson's getting some Jack Adams consideration.
and look, like it's hard to say that because we don't know exactly what the roster is going to look like. But
70 points. If they get 70 points next year, it would be a good season.
I'm going to say right now, over 70.
All right. All depends on the health, as we saw this year.
Yeah.
If they were healthy all year, they might have been able to flirt with 70 points this year. They wouldn't have been second worst in the league.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Still got a lot of roster decisions to make between now and October.
Well, it's raining now, but what if you wanted to go to a ball game, Greg? What would you do? Where would you go?
You would go to Game Time. They are the authorized ticket marketplace for all Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer you get to first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from receipts, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. My advice to you is pick the day you want to go. Hop on the red line. No matter what ballpark you're getting off at, as soon as you get off your station, be it Addison or if it's 35th and Shields, then you bring up the app, buy your ticket on the way into the ballpark because that's when you're going to get the best deal. Hey,
you might not want to risk it at 35th and Shields. Sorry, I almost kept a straight face for that.
Oh, come on.
I mean the ticket availability.
right.
That's what I meant.
Oh, right. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Sure you did. Last minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals. Hey, you want to join our pals Braggs and Cody and a lot of our other CHGO friends who've been hopping in the Friday 120 Club every home game at Wrigley Field in the left field bleachers to hang out. Get your tickets on Game Time. That's the best place to get your deal. And if you find a bleacher ticket on some other inferior ticket site, they will match that price and refund you the difference. So there is no sweat at all. You're going to get the best deal regardless. So take the guesswork out of buying your MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO, and they're going to give you $20 off your first purchase. So if you're going to a Sox game, you might actually get like a $14 back. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
And this is one of those weekends where you just had like never ending crap to do because the weather was nice. It was kind of hot. You got to get the lawn cut, the weeds pulled, everything you've been putting off since like spring started. And you know what I did as soon as I was done with that and coaching several and umping a softball game because we had a no-show ump.
Ugh.
Oh, that is stress.
Did you?
I heard they would have been better with the no-show ump than Zawaski.
I think I did a pretty fair
That's what I
job.
heard.
I did a pretty
I
fair
read that
job.
on the Homewood Community Chatter page.
was a lot
Back-to-back slaughter roll wins for the Valkyries. Thank you very much.
A lot of chatter in the wind about that.
Yes.
There you go. Nice callback.
I logged into Homewood Next Door on the Next Door app, and I was like, "Who is this umpire? He's
This guy
terrible."
sucks. What the hell? He looks like Chris Farley. Anyway, got home, cracked open a nice cold Coors Light because I needed that chill mindset, and it got me there because that's what it does. You know, Coors Light is what we go to, and we are choosing chill. Grab every opportunity to choose chill, then reach for a refreshing Coors Light. And you know, I had to check. Open up the fridge. Yep, the mountains are blue. You know what that means. It's as cold as the Rockies. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. When you embrace a chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light. It is mountain cold refreshment, crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door right now by going to Instacart. Well, using Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO Hockey. That's CoorsLight.com/CHGO
Is that me?
Hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. As we
Sorry about that.
Jam
I
out
heard it
to,
coming that way, but it was
it's a fan blowing the sound.
yeah.
Is that Chumbawamba?
No, that was one of our intro songs from I don't know which team that's from, but yeah, it was shooting out of the.
Oh, I recognize it. I listen to all of our shows all the
yeah,
time.
me too.
Yeah, it's that one that's on after us.
Yep, definitely. Or before. I can't remember.
Depending on which week it is.
To the sack.
Okay, well, again, shout out to Cricket who threw
thank you,
a
Cricket.
second dollar our way. Much appreciated for all these references to a certain former Blackhawks player.
And again, for the record,
love him.
we're not against it. It's
We
just not
love
going to
him.
happen.
He is the best. But again, well, yeah, whatever. Windy City Hockey threw us a $5 super chat to say, got my draft tickets from Game Time. Hopefully see you guys in Vegas. Might be difficult to bring gummy bears.
Well,
We'll find some.
with that attitude, it is.
Maybe there'll be some special gummy bears left after from the Dead and Company residency.
I got a feeling.
Don't besmirch. Don't do it.
No.
I'm going to get mad, flip over a table.
I was not going to be smirched. I was going to ask, I love the fact that the draft is at the Sphere, but also why?
Because it's cool.
I just feel like what is going to be on the screen? Is it going to be Gary Bettman's face gigantically
gonna
on
have
the
to wait.
Sphere? Like,
It should
what
be like
is it?
the Wizard of Oz. Like he just like looking down
Yes.
on the crowd. I think they'll show highlights and it'll be cool.
They'll have it all
Like
over the
bad
place.
YouTube highlights that people have
They'll
posted
put the board. They won't.
Demidov.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It'd be fun. I mean, I think it's kind of
360p.
cool that like the NHL is hitting something while it's still cool. Usually they wait to 5 years after it's done being cool to jump on board. So they're actually getting it while it's still kind of a thing.
I know.
Because in a couple of years, like the Sphere is just going to be having like the Donnie and Marie.
It'll be like
residency,
burned
like-
out panels that they're
Yeah,
like, we're not going to fix that.
Like this is not something that's going to last forever.
It's so cool though. I cannot get enough. I can't get enough of the videos from Dead Company.
But eventually, the novelty is going to wear off. Eventually, people are going to be like, I'm not paying $400 to see a band here. And I don't think we're going to need to buy anything walking in. The Dead have been there for a couple of weeks by the time we get there.
They'll be gone. I'm so upset they're going to be gone.
Just walk in and...
Yeah, the remainder will be there. The remainder will be there.
There will be some strange picks in the first round.
I can't tell you how many times I've opened up my Southwest Miles app and been like, can I go? I shouldn't go. Can I go? I shouldn't go. Tickets are on the secondary market are cheap for Dead & Company. I think a lot of people are just said, I can't afford this. I'm not going. The tickets are too much. And what Deadheads call miracles is someone just says, you put a sign that says, I need a miracle, and someone hands you a ticket. That's happening all over the place. So if you can't afford the airfare and you love the Dead like I do, take a shot. You might get miracled.
Or just go play craps and hopefully you'll win enough money to buy a ticket.
There you go.
On game time.
That's another strategy.
Okay, let's go back to the mailbag. And Raphael was asking in the chat about, did you see my question? Yes, we did.
Yeah, dude, we got
Raphael, we got it.
Patience is a virtue, my friend.
It is.
Yes.
My dad always says that.
Taylor Hall.
Patient man in the world. Sorry.
Raphael asked, Taylor Hall played only 10 games last season after being acquired to be the Bedard partner. What are your expectations about him after more than 50 points of Kurashev?
I see.
That's right, Kurashev. I really think he can score at least 70 points if healthy. He is pretty much a better player than Kurashev.
If he's healthy, and with Bedard all year, I think 60 to 70 is realistic.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be healthy the whole year.
No.
Like,
if you get 50 games out of him this year, I'll be thrilled.
50, is that what you said?
50, yeah.
I'm happy with that, too.
If you want to know what my expectations for Taylor Hall are, is I don't have any.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to go into
Everything's
this season.
gravy.
Zero expectations for Taylor Hall, because if you have zero expectations and he plays 50 to 65 games and puts up 50 points, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. If that's your expectation for him and he only plays 30 games and has 25 points, you're going to be mad and disappointed. So for your own mental health, have zero expectations. You can only be pleasantly surprised. You can never be disappointed.
And I would think, based on what we know about Kyle Davidson, he's probably thinking along similar lines and is not counting on Taylor Hall to be there for 82 games or 70 games or whatever.
If Taylor Hall gets red hot to start the year,
he looked great in the games he played.
And you have...
Not great.
He
good.
Stays on the ice. All of a sudden, it's January, it's February, and he's played all 45 games. Say he's got 35 points in 45 games, 18 goals, a handful on the power play.
Okay, now we're talking.
Trade bait.
Bingo.
Yes,
Bingo.
Sir.
You go to the trade market and say, who needs a winger?
Brendan Perlini making the rounds. If you missed our show on Friday, we had Brendan Perlini on, former Hawk. Good stuff. Well, probably about 35, 40 minutes with him.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He was great. So go check that out if you missed it.
Don't listen to it at work, though. There's some not safe for work language.
Well,
you know that by now.
I mean, by the way, if you're listening to it at work out loud, that's on you.
You're a dick anyway.
Fucking put a headphone.
Unless you work from home.
But if you're at home, you probably shouldn't have to worry about this not safe for work.
Exactly.
Anyways, that's a whole conundrum we don't need to talk about. This is from Kyle Foltz. Did you guys see the Elliot Friedman mention on 32 Thoughts Pod that he thinks the Sharks might have interest in Colliton? Thoughts?
Well, that's an interesting segue, Law. I don't know if you did that on purpose. We did ask Perlini about that. And he kind of in so many words just kind of said wrong guy at the wrong time.
Yeah. And that's not exactly going out on a limb. That's not a hot take.
Yeah, but we kind of said, like, was it as chaotic as I think a lot of us think it was? And he kind of was like, no, not really. It just didn't really work out. That I was sort of expecting him to say, like, oh my God, what a disaster, and no one respected the guy or whatever. And yes, he is, as Law brings up all the time, still as of now an active player, could be looking for employment in the American Hockey League or elsewhere. So maybe he doesn't want to go too hard, but he kind of poo-pooed the idea that it was just a complete clown show. It just seemed like wrong guy at the wrong time. So I said it, on Thursday's show, it wouldn't surprise me if Jeremy Colliton is back head coaching in NHL at some point. I mean, he was boy genius for a reason. Like, he's not the Hawks didn't put him in that role for nothing. Like, he did a good job in Rockford and in overseas. Like, he had done some decent stuff and just wasn't ready for this team at this time.
I think the current status of the Sharks is a much better fit for him than the Blackhawks, who were, 2.5 years removed from a Stanley Cup.
Who he was replacing.
Right, a lot of veterans. Where if he goes to San Jose, it's going to be a lot of young players. It's a rebuilding team, a team that's going to have patience with him, and it would be a much better fit. I don't know if I'd make that hire, but, that's not my job.
He did coach in Europe, right? I'm not making that up.
No, he played in Europe.
All right. Yeah, he was
might have.
I thought he was like maybe an assistant in Europe or something.
Something in Sweden.
He played in Sweden.
All right, but maybe that's it.
Whatever. He was Rockford and then preseason with the Hawks.
He was a little over one season in the AHL before they got him here. That's too much too soon.
Right. Too much too soon. A lot of Slapshot references today.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, back to the mailbag. White Lion fan club sort of almost deserves something here.
Our pal Fork.
Yeah. Which former Blackhawk that fans are clamoring to return would be the worst fit? Maybe should have brought this one up earlier.
I don't want to answer this because it's going to sound bad, but Jonathan Taves. We have no idea his physical condition, his mental condition.
I didn't even think of him because I
love the guy.
I don't consider him an option. I don't think he's coming back. I would say... And I can't believe that, but there are people that wish we still had him back. I would say Nikita Zadorov would be the worst.
That's
fit
a good. That's
team
a decent call.
I'm not ripping on him. He's had a really good postseason.
Yes,
but
he has.
If he comes back here, he's going to be paired with a young defenseman. That's not a guy you want with a young defenseman because he likes to go into business for himself.
Yes, he does.
And leave his assignment to go make the big hit, and then you're leaving a first-year pro back there all by himself. And we saw how great that worked with Jared Tenorti and Jacob Megna. Not so great.
He's better than both of them combined. But
yes, he is. But you would still see a lot of the same problems. And you need responsible veterans, not guys that is willing to sacrifice a goal in his own net to make a big hit.
Yeah. We like to say this a lot, but Nikita Zadorov is going to get some GM fired.
Yes, he is. And I like Nikita Zadorov. I would love to cover Nikita. He seems like such a fun guy.
Yeah.
Great teammate. But when you got a young team that you're trying to teach good habits to, he's probably not the best guy to put in there.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people clamoring for... The only clamoring we really get is for Kane.
Right.
So, I don't know. Again, we just have like a disclaimer on the screen. While we are not opposed to the idea of Patrick Kane, give it up. It's not going to happen. Yeah, there you go. We used to do that on the score with the Derrick Rose thing.
Be like,
hey, is Derrick Rose coming back? And we'd literally pre-produce something that we would hit. That was like the Derrick Rose disclaimer.
It would be like the Pat McAfee show. Just put that scrolling on the bottom.
Yes.
While these guys are our employees and we pay them a lot of money, they're idiots and they don't reflect the company. We should have something like that.
There you go.
Good idea.
Good thinking.
Let's see.
At least for mailbag shows.
Yes.
All right, let's do this one. This is from Tom Quinn at Tinley Irish Hawk. Name a player who you thought was going to be great, but was just meh. For me, it was Ken Yaremchuk. Speedy center to go with Savard and Troy Murray, but he was the Stahlberg before Stahlberg.
I got mine right away. Anton Babchuk was mine. He was a high draft pick. Him and Keith were coming up at like the same time, and he was actually thought of as like the higher prospect in the minds of a lot of people. Booming shot, two-way defender, but just never. He had a decent NHL career, played longer than like you probably remember, but just never turned into a stud defenseman. And I thought he was going to be absolutely great. But he played, let's see here, 289 NHL games, 107 points as a defenseman. That's not terrible. Hawks, Carolina, Calgary. Had a career high 35 points for Carolina in 08-09. So he was good, but he was a 21st overall pick in 2002. He was just never what they, I think, expected him to turn into. Yeah,
there are two guys that jumped to my head right away when this topic comes up. First one is Tyler Anderson. I thought Tyler Anderson was going to be really good. He had the size.
Work ethic, not great.
Yeah, you had that line. You thought that those three guys, the ABC line, were going to be, morph into something, and it wasn't a whole lot. And the other guy that I thought was going to be really good, but just never really got the fair chance here, even though he was here 7 different times. Jeremy Morin, I thought was going to be a really nice NHL player.
He flashed a lot,
But he just never, I think his biggest issue was he may not have been committed to playing defense as much as, say, the guy that was the coach here when he played most of his career, and that was going to be a problem. But, I thought he was going to be a star, and he's going to be that guy that helped keep that championship window open. It just never worked.
Anthony Tony says Adam Clendenning. I saw Steven Johns up there from Jimmy N. That's a good one. Jack Skilly.
Yeah, there were a lot of people mad. A lot of people mad when Steven Johns got traded in that Patrick Sharp trade. Now, obviously, he's a guy that dealt with some concussion issues and led to a very early retirement. You never know what he would have been if he stayed healthy. But, yeah, that was a guy that a lot of people had high hopes for. Jack Skilly is another one. I mean, on where he was picked, he should have been a lot better, but he was, I wouldn't even say Jack Skilly was meh.
He was
bad. On his best day, he was meh.
Yeah.
He was just not a good hockey player. Who was the other? Mark McNeil was another one of those just, what are we doing here?
Kind of a peen too, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Confirmed Pudwack?
I believe so. But Adam Clendenning, I had high hopes for. He's had a really nice long career, mostly AHL, but he's a guy that can play, be a good injury substitute for an NHL team. But they could probably spend a whole week on this topic.
Sounds fun. Top 10.
Maybe a top. Somebody had a good, I might use it. One of our diehards in the Discord, I think it was Michael Evans, had a good top 10 topic. It was top 10 guys you always wanted on the Hawks but never played.
I love that.
So that might be Thursdays.
It's going to be hard to make that a list, though.
Yeah.
Maybe we each come up with our own 5 or something.
I don't know.
I already have a graphic to top 10 Thursday, though.
Shane Corson. He thought he was going to be a Hawk. By the way, Adam Clendenning has made just about $8 million in his career.
That's not bad.
So he's doing all right. Could have a worse career than a AHL stud / NHL call up.
Yeah, I mean he's got to play a sport and make $8 million at it. Like,
sounds good to me.
It's a lot more money than you make talking about sports.
So far, we'll let it play out.
Yeah.
All right, back to the mailbag. This is from Socks and C's. What are your favorite Blackhawks jerseys of all time? I'm talking player, color, combo specific. One of mine is a white Crawford jersey.
My favorite is a white Jeremy Roenick jersey because it's just what the Hawks wore when I fell in love with the team, and he was the reason I fell in love with the team.
Yeah, I always like the white better.
Yep.
So, it would be either a white Roenick or a white Chelios. Those. Plus, the whites were cooler back in those days because they wore them at home.
Yep.
And in order to see them, you had to go to the stadium or the United Center to go see them play. Like, you never saw the whites on TV. It was always the Reds were on TV because it was only road games only.
Screw you, dollar bill.
And so, like, when you went to the Chicago Stadium and you saw those white jerseys on the ice, it looked so cool because you never got to see it.
Yeah.
The white jerseys. I'd probably go Chelios. To me, that's like that's the jersey of an era.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, can't go wrong. They're all great.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd go with my Dennis Savard red one that I purchased with the fight strap back in the day when it was CCM. Don't ask me why I bought the size I did. It's way too large, but
fair enough.
I guess
you'll get fat someday.
Yeah, someday.
It's got to catch up with you eventually.
Hey, speaking of that talk, let's go to this. My favorite one. I saw this come in. And I was like, I have to ask this one. This is from Kevin Zunick. Hope I said that right. It says regular cut, crinkle cut, wedges, or waffle fries.
Whew, man, throwing wedges in there is tough because wedges are really, really good.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Yes.
Should we rank those? Maybe we should rank those.
All right.
Let me see them again. All right. Go ahead.
I mean, what about curly fries? How come curly fries?
They're not on the list.
Give me the
honorable
Arby's,
mention by
Arby's curly fries.
I'm gonna go 4-1.
Okay.
Waffle fries 4. Wedges 3. Ooh. Regular cut 2. Crinkle cut are the best.
All right. I'm going waffle. 4 is waffle. 3 is regular. 2 is crinkle. 1 is wedges. I love wedges.
See,
like big steak fries or
steak fries is different from wedges, though.
Or like the wedges at B-Dubs are great.
I just feel like
I'm not a big fan of the seasoning that's on curly fries and wedges. I think
the double fry.
They take
the double fry's the best.
They take away from the French fry.
I just get concerned about the size of the wedge. Sometimes makes them undercooked. You get a little variance with those.
I think we're talking, and I don't want to speak for Kevin.
Ideal conditions.
I want to say like ideal produced.
Yeah, sure.
That's like because crinkle cut can be similar too. They can be a little soggy and wimpy too if they're out too long. But if you get fresh crinkles, like Portillo's always nails a crinkle cut.
Hell yeah, they do.
Yes.
Like so those are great.
And it seems like every mom and pop pizza place in the world has crinkle cut fries when you get them, and those are best with a couple slices, couple squares of tavern-style pizza, and some crinkle-cut fries.
Perfect. Yeah, that's it. We're getting pizza.
I got a place up. I mean, that does the curlies with their pizzas. But
Nate says the Cajun fries at Fry the Coop. They're very good. Yeah. Very good.
What about from Five Guys, where they just you get a small and it's just 3,000 French fries.
A barrel of French fries.
Their
fries are really good.
That's why the burgers are $3 because they give you 7 pounds of French fries.
In this economy?
They closed the one by me, and it's so annoying. Why did you close that?
There's that one right on Ogden and Damon here in that little.
That is not near my home.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've only been to Five Guys once. I was not impressed for what I got for what I paid, and I've never been back.
I will say
it wasn't terrible, but
it was 20% cheaper.
I should have gotten more for what I paid for.
All right, listen to this. I'm right into the camera. Five Guys, people. If you were 20% cheaper, I'd be there 75% more often. Do the math.
Do the math. Speaking of math, 200 people watching, 95 likes. What is going on?
Come on now. Smash that like button for us, and the price of Five Guys will go down. Not a guarantee.
Allegedly.
All right, back to the mailbag. Let's go with this one.
All right.
This is from what a great handle this is. At NHL fan 987628081.
He's never said anything problematic online.
Seriously, there's no avatar photo either. Good times. This is exciting. Hi guys, Connor Kelly, Tage Harding, Aiden Thompson. Are any of these guys getting a contract or a shot in Rockford next season?
Thompson, maybe?
Thompson, yeah, out of those three, that's probably the one guy that, if you squint, might have an NHL role. Harding and Connor Kelly, if you live near Indianapolis, maybe you'll get to see them play for the Fuel one day. But beyond that, I wouldn't hold your breath.
Yeah. But Aiden Thompson's a good prospect. He's not going to be a stud, but he'll probably play in the NHL at some point.
Yeah, maybe. If everything goes right for him, yeah, he can be one. He could be a guy. But I'm not. I think he might be going back to college next year. I think he had like an injury. I think he had an injury this season. Mario's the guy we need to answer that because he covered the NCAA.
Okay, we'll ask that again tomorrow when he's back.
But I think Aiden Thompson's eligible to go back for another season at Denver, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But out of those three, yeah, he's probably the one that has the most potential.
Yeah, I would think so.
All right, back to the mailbag. Let's do a goalie question.
All right.
Cody Wilder asks, any ginterest, that's right, that's a J, not an I, any interest in Samsonov paired with Mrazek?
No. If you're trying to win something, still no.
They're not trying to win anything, though.
But still no.
Couldn't that be qualified as like the take a flyer, see what you get out of a guy? Maybe you can turn his game around. I mean, Jimmy Waite's a good goalie coach. He's turned around Peter Mrazek. I know health is part of it, but like the Hawks have had good success with goalies historically with the Waits in charge.
Yeah, but what does that really do for you, though?
Well, look, Ilya Samsonov was a highly thought of goalie prospect, and he went into some very difficult situations and failed. There's no doubt about it. But there's a reason he was that high of a prospect. And if you've got 2 years to figure out what you're going to do with your franchise, you've got your bridge to Comesso. You've got Guyon, down the road 3-4 years away. I wouldn't mind taking a look at him for 2 years and just like you said with Taylor Hall, like, what if he's really, really good for you for 2 years? And then at the end of that second year, you're like, well, we got Comesso coming up. What do you want for Samsonov at the deadline? I don't know.
I just think, you signed Peter Mrazek and kind of said, hey, the next 2 years, you're the guy. And then, we were just kidding. Here's Ilya Samsonov. And now we're going to pay our backup $4 million a year.
Well, you think he's going to get $4 million?
Well, that's what Mrazek's got.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I don't know if it necessarily means that Samsonov is the automatic starter, though.
But if he plays well, he kind of has to be.
I don't know.
And I still think he's young enough and still has that potential where another team is going to give him a chance to be a starter.
Yeah.
On a good team. So I don't know if that's a thing that he would want to do.
Yeah. I mean,
I would rather have a guy, if you want to get like a younger guy in here that might still have a chance, then I go a different route with like a Alex Nedeljkovic or a Kakkonen who was with San Jose last year. Guys that still, who would be a lot cheaper. I still think Samsonov is going to get you a $2-3 million salary this year.
We'll see.
He's a starting goalie. He's going to get paid whatever a starting goalie gets paid.
I don't know. He's had a sub-9 save percentage this year in both the playoffs and regular season. And of the last 3 seasons he's played, only over 9 once.
But go look at that goalie market right now.
Oh, I know. It's bad.
As bad as those numbers are, he's probably still the best option. It's not
depending on the price, I would consider it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm good. I don't need that.
See, we do disagree.
Yes.
There you go. Thomas Salata jumps in here with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Thomas. What is now the ugliest jersey in the NHL? And he puts STL in parentheses.
No, I don't know.
No, the Ducks uniforms suck ass.
Ducks suck. The gold Vegas jerseys are awful. And
gold Nashville jerseys are bad.
Yes, the piss jerseys in Nashville are probably the ugliest. Those are the worst.
What offends me most about the Anaheim uniforms is they were so awesome, and they've worn third jerseys this year that were awesome, and they just refuse to go back to the purple and teal, which is what everybody wants them to do on the planet. Go back to purple and teal. Do it. I will buy a Ducks hat if they do that. I would buy a Ducks shirt if they did that. But no, this stupid like black and orange and gold, no one wants that. It looks like a 70s couch.
Yeah, it's bad.
No.
It's bad.
Get it out of here. All right.
Yeah, screw you, Anaheim.
Yeah, just generally.
Disney, jerks. Oh, wait, I'll be there in like 3 weeks. Okay.
Enjoy.
We're going to keep going here. We've got, this is from Colin. It looks like a DM. Okay, he slid into the DMs.
Yeah, he
for
slid
this
in
one.
there. Yeah.
Okay, ready? Here we go.
Yep.
With the currently signed forward group, the assumptions that Slaggert and Nazar make the team, and your all's belief that Joey Anderson is signed, that would leave the 12th and 13th spot available. Wouldn't it make sense to try to offload Athanasiou and Donato in the offseason to allow 4 spots to be open, with Anderson being the 13th forward? That way, Davidson can go after guys like Turbo, Roslovic, maybe Toffoli or Marchessault. Otherwise, you are icing the same forward group and aren't improving for the following season.
Well, but you're not, though, because you've got Nazar, you've got Slaggert. Athanasiou missed basically the whole year. Taylor Hall's back, so it's not the same forward group. It's not going to be Taylor Radish and Remington Pitlick and all the guys that had to fill in the gaps while those guys were hurt. And look, we're counting on health, but there's no way they're going to sign 4 of the top forward free. Like, that's not going to happen. They're not signing 4 guys, and they shouldn't.
And
they should bring in 2 forwards and a defenseman is what I would do.
And who's going to give you anything for Andreas Athanasiou right now?
Yeah, you're getting nothing for
a guy that missed essentially the whole season last year.
Yeah.
With a groin issue for a guy whose one thing is skating. And last time I checked, having healthy groins is key
to
helps. Skating.
Yep.
But this is a guy that has not done much of anything wherever he's gone except be really fast.
And for what you're paying him to potentially get 20 goals out of him, which is, you could squint real hard and see it, I'd rather just keep the guy.
And Donato could be available, but I mean,
you're fine with Donato.
Yeah.
Donato in a better role. Like if if they do add some free agents and guys are healthy, he's going to be on a third and fourth line role every night. That's where he belongs, and he's among the better of the third and fourth line players.
It will be better, even though you're rolling back a lot of the same guys. You know, if everybody's healthy, you add a couple pieces here, you're improved. You're definitely improved. There's no Zach Sanfords. There's no Rem Pitlicks.
There's a lot of bums that played for the Hawks last year.
There's no Reese Johnson. Probably no Colin Blackwell. Like no Taylor Radish.
Yeah.
I mean, you replace Taylor Radish with Landon Slagert, you're improved.
Mackenzie Entwistle, Reese Johnson, Tyler Johnson's gone, so there's a spot for you. Yeah, it's just a lot of bad played up front for the Hawks last year.
Yes. And there'll be still some bad next year, but it'll be less bad.
Yep.
All right, I feel like we just answered this one, but let's ask it again. Rainman MP, why are there no cup holders at the United Center?
Is this the same guy that asked the question before?
It's fine. Let's just make this our summer campaign.
Yes. We got a donut shop back at the Fifth Third Arena. It's never open when we're there, but we got it. So we do have power here.
It is strange at the United Center in the year of our Lord 2024 and the year of our HOSA 2024 that I had to put my drink between my feet on the floor of the United Center.
It is, especially on the 100 level.
Get it sponsored.
Seriously, get it.
The Cubs got it sponsored. Hefty sponsors. I remember. It's a good sponsorship because I remember it. Because every time I put my beer down, Hefty. Every time I put my beer down, I see the word Hefty. So get it sponsored. Sell it. Yeah. Bring in some revenue. Come on, Hawks. This is not difficult.
What are we doing?
Yeah, but why there is none? Probably the most logical reasons why there has never been one, because if there's a cup holder, you'll never spill your drink and have to go down and buy another one.
But I will buy more because it's inconvenient to have it between my feet. And I get pissed that I kicked it over. I'm like, well, I just wasted $11. So I'm not going to spend another one.
$18.
$18?
I mean, I don't know.
What kind of beer are you buying? No.
I'm sorry.
Whatever it is.
Our former beer sponsor, maybe.
Well, that's why... Another reason is if there's no cup holder, you hold your beer, therefore you drink it faster, therefore you get more.
I mean, I literally still remember Game 1 of the 2013 Stanley Cup Final, which is the 3 overtime game against the Bruins. First beer, I'm in the very last row of the 300 level. I get to my seat. I'm looking at the ice, so I sit down and place my beer between my legs, and then there's a freaking seam in the concrete up there. Yeah. And it spills everywhere. And I'm like, great start to the evening. So, whatever. They won in 3 overtime, so that was a great ending.
There you go. So it worked out.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, anyways, Hawks. Come on, cup holders. Let's go.
Cup holders.
Make Reinsdorf pop for it. Maybe you'll ask for more taxpayer money to get him in.
And please ask the same question next week.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it's another one from another long string of numbers. Aiden at Aiden44929165 in 3 to 4 years, what do you think the Blackhawks lines look like? Just a fun exercise for the show pre-draft.
Draisaitl, Marner, Bedard.
No, Draisaitl, McDavid.
Oh, Bedard. Right. Yeah.
Marner's on the second line with Demidov and Steven Stamkos. Mm-hmm. Patrick Kane's back.
Mm-hmm. Austin Matthews.
Is
and on the Matthew Tkachuk for the USA line.
Yeah, Brady. I think.
And then Ryan Donato because you got to save on the cap.
Right, and then they bring back Colin Blackwell to play on the fourth line.
Donato, Blackwell, Slaggard, fourth line.
Yeah.
And Nazar coming off the bench.
Right.
All right, did it. Nailed it.
Sweet.
We have no idea is the answer, Aiden. Sorry.
I don't even know what the line is going to be this October, let alone 3 or 4 years. Maybe that's something we can do a whole show. We can't, that's not something we can answer in 30 seconds.
Well, okay. This is from Scott, Iowa 23 to finish off the mailbag. What's finishing off the mailbag? Look at us.
Short-winded. What's the opposite of word salad? Word tacos.
Oh, God, I love tacos.
There you go.
Scott, Iowa 23. What is your favorite summer activity, or what are you looking forward to doing this particular summer?
I can't wait to get to Wrigley. I got to get to Wrigley. I haven't been in a long time. This is, again, about the time the Dead and Company would come to Chicago, and I'd go to those. That would usually be my first Wrigley trip of the year, and I go to some ball games, but that's not happening. So I just got to get to a ball game. I would even settle for a Sox game because they got great food, pick your own section, all that great stuff. I just want to be outside of the ball game that I'm not coaching or umping.
Terribly, from what I've heard on the chatter in the wind.
Yeah. chatter in the wind. I am looking forward to getting on the boat. I've never really been a boat guy, but last year, some friends of ours invited us on their boat, and we went multiple times, and we're actually going for the first time on Sunday.
Nice.
Going to spend Sunday on beautiful Lake Delavan, Wisconsin. You just pick a spot, throw down the anchor, and just kind of float, listen to some music, eat food. They've got a canopy on their boat, though, so you can hide under there. But, I'm looking forward to getting out on the boat this weekend and as many weekends as we're allowed.
It's great.
Oh, that's nice. I don't know what I'm looking forward to. I guess Disneyland? I don't know. That's not really
You going to land that world?
We're doing California. I'm excited to see my people in Cali.
It's probably not going to be as hot. Florida in June or July is horrific.
Yeah.
We went in September 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and that was too hot.
I'm lying. My most excited to go to the Sphere.
That's gonna be fun.
Let's freaking go.
Speaking about hot, it's gonna be really effing hot in Vegas.
Hopefully not in the Sphere. Yeah. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Free agency day. Does that count as a summer activity?
Sure.
Favorite day of the year? We'll see. It's summer, man. We're in Chicago. There's nothing bad about it. Even the cicadas aren't bothering me.
I'm enjoying them. Two of them waved at me yesterday. Very odd.
Did you see the SNL weekend update?
Has anybody peed on you yet?
Not a cicada.
Yeah, the cicadas are supposed to pee up to 10 feet.
Oh yeah, a cicada hasn't peed on me. But
Yeah,
Wait a minute. What?
that's what they say.
you won't even notice it.
Hey, who
I
saying
googled
that?
how much pee does a cicada hold. Very little.
Yeah. How?
Remember
10
gleeking?
feet?
That's what I read. I'm telling you.
Very strong urethras. Do you remember gleeking back in the day? when
sure.
Yes.
guys would spit from their tongue?
I accidentally do that all the time.
It's probably going to
really
be not that
ridiculous.
much. I would bet.
I used to have a guy in high school that a sophomore year geometry class. They used the overhead projector instead of the board, and he would sit there and just gleek it out.
Ugh, that's so gross.
Nasty.
I remember the dude at St. Lawrence who did it, and
all of a sudden he'd be writing, and then it would the entire equation would get washed out, and for the entire semester, the poor teacher had no idea where it was coming from.
For those that don't know, it's like shooting a little stream of spit from under your tongue.
It's disgusting.
And some people can do it, some people can't. It's just disgusting. Don't do that. Ever. Nasty.
How are the cicadas in your neighborhoods?
Bad.
They are growing by the day.
Yeah. I could hear them last night when I got in my car. I walked up the tree and it was like.
When I pulled out of my driveway today, I probably had 30 on each one of my tires. They're just holding onto the side.
Like you're backing out of snow.
So I happily drove them to a different neighborhood.
Oh, great.
Oh, Lord. All right, well, back to the Cicada Wars. We're back tomorrow at 2:30. We're working on some stuff. Might do some Flyers talk this week. Trying to work with getting Petey on the show to do some video stuff. So we got a lot, nothing confirmed, but we're working on some big shows. Mario should be back tomorrow as well. So we'll talk to you then. Thanks for all the great questions. We appreciate you. On your way out, do us a favor, smash that like button, make sure you subscribe, and at some point this week, share an episode with a friend or two. That'd be really, really helpful. We're still, despite being 2+ years into this thing, still getting off the ground for most part. So the more word of mouth you can give us, the better. And then when the season starts and the Hawks are slightly better, boom, everybody wins. All right, so we'll talk to you Tuesday at 2:30 on the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast.